Hello and welcome to Smell the Glove podcast. I am St Paulie D, aka Jungle Jim 67 on Twitter.
And I'm Dr. J and B Bob Deep on Twitter. Welcome back.
Welcome back, and I suppose I better wish you a happy Thanksgiving, Dr. J, because it's Thanksgiving weekend in the United States.
Yes, I've been off since Thursday. I don't know what to do myself. I got to shave. It's been a couple days.
You're just sitting about the house in sweatpants, just watching football.
Basically, yeah.
And the reason to
And
explain
Thanksgiving
to
was great too. Thanksgiving was great too. We had
oh yeah,
European football all day, starting at 11 o'clock in the morning till the Eagles and the Cowboys came on. It was actually pretty good.
so you did do the traditional thing of watching the NFL on Thanksgiving.
Uh, I watched maybe 10 minutes, and then we had the kids this weekend, so we basically watched movies and hung out with them. So I was good with it after that. We started a fire outside and hung out and just did family stuff. So I even forgot there was a late game on Thursday night. I didn't even watch it. I woke up next morning and go, oh, cool. I didn't even know LSU played Texas A&M. I woke up in the morning and said, oh, there was a Thursday night football game. I had no idea. So
Yeah, well, many people know
yeah.
I'm a huge NFL fan, but I think quite strangely, this is the first year in about a decade that I've not watched NFL on Thanksgiving because it's usually about like it comes on about 6 o'clock in the UK, so it's like a good time to sit down and watch a game on a Thursday night, etc. But yeah, I just didn't have the chance this year, so I watched a little bit of the Eagles play because the Eagles are kind of my team. So yeah, it was okay. But just to explain, yeah, if you're living outside of North America, America and Canada actually have separate Thanksgivings. So I've already had my Thanksgiving, which was a month ago,
When is the Canadian Thanksgiving?
in
Is it October?
middle of October. See, it
October.
was
Oh.
the middle of November with the same time as the same time as the American one, but apparently they changed it because they felt November should all be about the war veterans and all that sort of thing. But yeah, so you had a good time, Stacey. Stacey cooking up a treat.
Yep, we had the traditional, and it was all good. I mean, some good wine, some turkey like everybody else, and can't beat it. It was perfect, except for one little thing. But
What's that?
you know, the Salzburg result was kind of deflating for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, let's
So
go into that, I suppose, eh? It's a strange day. It must have been strange having a kind of like holiday, then also having a Celtic game on on the holiday, because obviously Celtic have never played on Christmas Day, as far as I know. Play on Boxing Day. So was it just kind of like you sat down prior to the turkey and watched the game, or how did it work?
oh no, 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 no. See, we had game came on at 3. We had dinner at 2:15.
Great,
So it was done.
perfect.
Everything we were done eating in 45 minutes. Would takes like a week to prepare and buy and get ready. We were done in 45 minutes, and I had the TV on, ready to go,
Man,
screen the television.
my only I've only had a few Thanksgivings, obviously, but my kind of knowledge of it is that you eat yourself into a sleep coma. So did you manage to get through the whole 90 minutes without falling asleep?
Yes, only because I kept biting my lip and I could taste the blood from watching them play. But after that, I'm sure I wasn't the only one.
Enough North American history for folks back home. Let's get on to the game then. So we'll keep it short as usual. We're not going to go on and do the technical analysis of the game. We'll leave that to the better podcasts. Let's get on. What were your general thoughts on the game, Dr. J?
Yeah, let's go back to our 3 points. 3 points. The first one I have is, where's Skepovich? Where is he? I mean, I really don't want to talk about the game itself. I just want to talk about different points about it. Where's
Mm-hmm.
Skepovich? He didn't play,
Mm-hmm.
and then against Hearts, he didn't make the bench.
Yeah, there's obviously something up there. I don't exactly know what it is. He might have just not been fit in. He might get told that he's just not really part of the plans. I'm not sure if it's just a case of we've got him and we've realised that he's not really the fit that we want as a player. Or it might just be a very genuine thing that other players are playing better than him in training. So,
Yeah, is he falling back in love with Griffiths?
well, the whole thing is like we're doing the high pressing thing and high tempo, and Griffiths gives you that. He chases down the defenders and chases down the goalkeeper and all that. And if you're moving the ball about quickly and fast movement, then Griffiths is, he's up there. And people have been calling out for him. Well, numerous people on Twitter have called out for him to play through the centre. Now, I don't think Skefovic gives you that. And also, like we're saying, we've got so much problems crossing the ball at the minute. I think
Oh,
that, I mean, we just don't have a player that can cross the ball.
Oh, it's horrible.
I
It's
mean,
horrible.
the amount of joy that Azagiri had down the left flank, and especially in the second half, how many times did he actually connect to a cross?
I don't know, but I'm glad his crossing the balls he crosses are not actually bombs or shrapnel because people in the first row at Celtic Park would have been dead on both ends of the park.
Was I right in thinking that it got to a
Oof.
stage where he just kind of gave up crossing and he's now started to look for the cutback more, or is that just me picking at something that isn't really there? Is he
No,
doing
I
that
think
more?
he's been doing that lately a lot. I don't know if you've noticed the 1-2 left right left, and then try and nutmeg somebody, and then try and cross from there, or even a couple of right-footed crosses. He's been on that recently, but it doesn't matter if your crosses end up landing on the other side of the goal mouth or in the third row. Jesus, I mean, yeah, that's the only downside. I mean, he gets down that end, and I think Stokes plays well with him. And as you said, Stokes has changed his game a lot to be able to play on that left side with Izzy, and that's done really well to open up some room. But but either way, but that I think we'll get there. We'll get there with them. I mean, Stokes is doing okay, but Jesus Christ, some of his crosses or some of his corners are just first row,
Yeah, he's
or
absolutely
in the way.
absolutely
Yeah,
atrocious today. I think like
yeah.
we're getting a problem here. I think potentially with senior players in the team calling rank on things, where Stokes keeps on taking corners, and it's got to a stage where you're thinking to yourself, surely there's someone better here than taking a corner than him, because he's atrocious. He's really bad. Is it just a case of I'm a senior player, I'm going to take the corner?
Well,
Because
you see, this is when you're going to get into one of my jog on realities, and that is, when we say things like that, I have to really call myself into check and go, I'm going to assume that someone as into man management and game management as Dyla is, and so I mean, I'm saying he's perfect, but I mean, he does make mistakes at times, things that end up as mistakes. And what kills me is I assume that they train. I assume that they do this in training. I assume that he looks, either he's looking down going, this is the best thing I've got. So it's the lesser of two evils. So I guess we'll just stick with it. Or he does it well in practice, or he's trying to do something on purpose. I mean, I can't just sit there and go, he's pulling rank. I assume that, pulling rank with Dyla doesn't mean very much. I
I
mean,
mean Van Dijk scored from a header today? Was that from a Johansson cross? I think it
I,
was, wasn't it?
it was.
It was, yeah.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Was it
No, it wasn't.
Stokes? Was it Stokes?
No, it was Stokes. It was Stokes's, and he missed the second one. He scored from Johansson's corner, a pass back from Stokes, and that's what he scored
So,
on that side footer.
so it was
Yeah,
actually a Stokes corner because
it
I
was,
mean,
and he missed the second one on the Stokes corner, the one he skied. He pulled the Landon Donovan
from 1 yard.
from 1 yard
I
out,
don't
hit
think it
over
was
the
a
bar.
particularly good corner though. I think it was just the fact that all the Hearts players ball watched for no
That
apparent
was like a
reason.
yeah,
That
that
was
was like a
easier to
Kennedy.
score.
Yeah, that was a Kennedy magic bullet that went through seven people around four legs and ended up on his knee.
It sounds a really, really strange thing criticising Stokes for not being able to take a corner when we've scored off a corner that Stokes has took today. But the
He
number of
must have,
corners we get and the number of them he absolutely balloons is
or,
pretty
or
crazy.
does actually the numbers that he doesn't get over the
Oh,
first person.
there's
That's
nothing
a
more
good.
frustrating than taking a corner and it hitting the first man. It's just
Yeah,
such a
he does that. He does
waste.
that consistently. Yeah,
Certain things we need to do in corners. It's pointed
yeah.
out by the guys at Celtic Television in their infinite wisdom the other day that against Salzburg, we can't defend a corner. Some of our defending at corners are terrible, and we need to start drilling and being able to take corners. And
Zonal marking.
just
Yeah,
we need to
kind of
defend
tough.
better off them, and we need to capitalise on corners because the number of times that we get, like the number of
Yeah,
corners we get in SPL is just or SPFL is just
massive.
massive. So we need to start
Yes.
doing better than that. But it's
Yeah,
something we can work on. Something
yeah.
hopefully towards the end of the season
But
we
I
can
mean,
go in.
if you want to take something good away from the game, I mean, my third point was, we controlled that match for 70 minutes
Aye.
and gave up a cheapie in extra time, and even and I'll tell you what, I'll give, should have McGregor played in front of Forrest? I don't know. I don't think that made. I mean, I think we're going to see, like today he didn't get off the bench, but I think we're going to see quite a bit of Forrest. I hope, and you look at it and you go, was that the right move?
I think I
Maybe
would
not.
have played McGregor over Forrest, where I think Forrest is the better player than McGregor. However, McGregor McGregor's played the previous games. He's not done great, but he's done okay. Obviously, got a goal in one of
Yeah,
them.
but he came on for Forrest in
So
the last game.
in the last game, did he?
Forrest played, yeah.
Did
Forrest
Forrest
played
play ahead
60
of him?
minutes. Yeah,
Oh, Forrest played ahead of him. Yeah, that's okay. But
yeah.
yeah, I think at the moment Forrest's not. I like Forrest, but he's still not kind of showing enough for me to show that he's back to running at full pelt. Hopefully, he
Yeah,
can
but
because
he didn't. He
I
didn't
think
play
Wee
for.
Man's a hell of a player when he's fit. You know, it's just try to keep him fit and get him up to full speed.
Here's what I thought was interesting about the end, though. Before we move on from this, we controlling the last 70 minutes, and obviously Griffiths having that open header that that he could have scored on. Good save. I mean, the part that was interesting was he brought Tonev on, and Tonev had some good plays, and I
Cool.
believe Tonev's the one who had the cross
I've
for
actually
Griffiths.
I've got notes on certain players, and there's two players I really want to pick up on. One's Johansson and one's Tonev. But
Yeah,
Tonev looked really good in the small period that he was
he
on.
did. He did. He
He
looked
had really neat play. He's
yeah.
like, if that was his debut,
The step over.
honestly, if that was his
That step
debut,
over.
yeah,
Dummy. Yeah.
if that was his first game in the Celtic colours, you'd be raving about the guy. He was really
Mm-hmm.
skillful. Like, I don't know, his touch, his passing, his movement, it's all very good. I mean, we've been tracking the guy for a long time, obviously, before he went to Aston Villa. Maybe it's just a case of he's taking time to settle. I mean, he came on against Hearts today. It was really hard to tell what exactly he'd done. I don't think he'd done a huge amount. But then again, at that stage of the game, Hearts were just putting absolutely everybody behind the ball, and it didn't even resemble a football match at that point by the time he came on. But could it be the case that he's pulled it together at the moment?
Well, I mean,
we do need a left-sided player.
Listen. He couldn't have gotten a good move from wherever he was to Villa, and you're going to tell me now that he's just all of a sudden now he's horrible. I mean, I don't think that's the case. There's a football in there somewhere. So I mean, I'm okay. I'm okay with him taking his time. I mean, we've had players that have taken time before, but what gets me is
He's also injured, was he not?
He was, when he came in. We loaned an injured player. But what kills me is even with running the game the way we did, and Commons came on, and we we really controlled that game the last bit. And I thought maybe we get a little cheap one and then tie that game up. But I'm okay. I'm okay with the way it ended. It's if that was, let me put it this way, if that was the first game we played and we lost 3-1 and then got a draw there, everyone would be beside themselves happy. If you know what I mean, if those games were reversed and we, they beat us 3-1 here, but we got a 1-1 draw and qualified on 1-1 draw away.
I don't think we really lost 3-1. I think it was a case of pulling your goalkeeper at the end there in hockey terms.
I'm with you.
Whereas we really just threw everybody forward and lost that last goal.
I agree. If you just look at the scores and reverse the games around, and we get if it was a 3-1 loss that we started out with, but then we end up with a 1-1 draw at the end, at the with a game left, and we qualify with a game left, I mean, everyone would be happy. So I'm not all that worked up about it. In the grand scheme of things, the way it looks right now, did I want them to win? Yes, I want them to win. Do I want them to play well? Yes, I want them to play well. Is it an earth-shattering event? The answer is no.
If you look at it this way, if you take Salzburg home and away in those two games, there was a 10-minute window where we got completely outclassed, where we just weren't at the races at all. First 10 minutes of the game, we just weren't up to speed. We came out all and in all fairness to them, they actually have a couple of good players. Those Brazilians have got good players, you know what I mean? So over the course of two games, I think they outclassed us for about 10-minute window of that. The rest of that game, we're in it for the next 20 minutes, and then the second half we just dominated them, all over them. See Johansson, I think we've found his position. We've mentioned this before, where he's looking more like a number 10 than a central player when he plays in the 3 of the 5, just behind the front man.
Mm-hmm. But that's at the expense of Chris Commons.
At the expense of Chris Commons. But we've also mentioned that he plays better when the tempo goes up. It's that game when we started playing, when we were 2 down, and he started running at people and really fast passing, really fast step overs, being able to distribute the ball quickly, and just the sense of urgency and chasing down players. That's when we started to get the best out of him. And honestly, he plays his best football when we play really high tempo. So next time when we go into a game, can we not just convince everybody in the team that we're 2-0 down? Because as a team, we play better when we're playing that sense of... Is it just a case of when we're going into these SPFL games that we know, the team we're playing isn't really that great, so we don't have that sense of urgency that we have.
And they're going to put 11 men behind the ball.
Exactly. I
Yeah,
mean
of course.
That Salzburg team are a good team on paper.
Yeah, they didn't just let us camp on their 18.
No,
Like if you look